Now I'm going to do a vid on the FXLRS Lowrider 2020. I've added a light bar to the front, and I just want to do a vid on that setup. Now I've gone and bought myself a cheap Chinese imported light bar because I'm a tight ass, but I'm just going to run through the vid on the wiring of this up to the bike. Maybe anybody else out there might be interested in doing something similar to their bike, so I thought I'd just chuck a quick vid up for you to have a look at. So now you can see the bike's been stripped down, and what I've done is I've mounted it on the front of the bike. Now you might be able to see if I zoom in a bit. I've just used a couple of cable ties to hold that in place. So if it works out okay and the light works quite well, I'll be making up a bracket to go with it. Okay, bit more to be done on that, but I think I can make a simple bracket that'll fit there. Got a bit of an idea of the design, but for the time being I've just cable tied it. Pull the bike all apart, pull the fuse out of the bike down here, taking that out. Okay, remove the main fuse, and whoops, fucking hell. Oops, so easy. Don't do that. You gotta be careful when you're doing shit. You'll fuck things up, sunshine. So, right, go around this side, and that's where the battery is. Down in here, that cover needs to come off. I've unclipped it, moved all the stuff out of the way, and going to remove the battery cover. Got to remove the negative terminal to get that battery cover off and out of the way, and then we'll be able to wire up the light to the battery. So at the moment I've lifted the tank. I'm not a bike mechanic, I'm not an auto electrician, so I've got an auto electrician coming in to help me wire this up, and we'll see if the video is any good afterwards for you guys to have a look at. But I thought I'd just do a little video of the bike stripped down, ready for the auto electrician to turn up. He'll wire it in. Now in there is another Japanese cheap switch that I've bought with the wire coming out here. So we're going to wire that switch up for the light. That's down the front there. Now being connected, and I just want to run through with you how I've done that. I've had an electrician come around. He's helped me wire up the switch and set it up so that I can finish the job off myself, run the cable, connect it to the battery, and I'm just now going to show you what I've done on the bike so far. Right, so switch on the handlebars, cable running down from that to a joiner, and then we've got a join here which is set up with a wire, this wire running down to the battery, and this wire with a joiner back to the light at the front of the bike, and this wire running down through here. I've run it underneath the tank, lifted the tank up and run it through here. It comes out the back of the tank down here, cable tied it on down there, and then running it through into the battery, which is located underneath through here underneath the suspension. Your batteries on these bikes is located down here. So to get to that, what I had to do was take off this cover here. There's a couple of other covers, another cover underneath that, and then remove the gear and another cover on top. Disconnect the negative, remove the cover on top of the battery,
and then connect up the positive. There's a fuse in there as well, and then connect up the negative and then put it all back together again. I haven't showed you that because there are other videos on YouTube on how to remove a battery from the M8 Harleys, so you might want to look at that rather than me showing you how it's all done. But that means the light is now connected to the bike, and if I come around to the front, click on the switch, you'll see we have light. Okay, light's working. See, it's pretty bright, I must admit. I haven't done the vid outside yet riding, but I can tell you that's certainly whacks out a bit of light. I will say there is a couple of issues with the way I've wired it up. One being that if anyone comes along to the bike, you could switch on the light, and then when I came back to the bike, the battery would be flat. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't tend to leave my bike too far from where I am at all times, or in a position that I can see it in. But I mean, there's things that you can take off the bike, there's things that you can muck around with the bike if you really wanted to do that, and there's not much I can do about it if I wasn't there to stop you. So it's not a real big issue for me. Some people might think that that would be important, but I didn't think it was that big an issue. Now I'm just going to recap on what I've done. I've bought myself a cheap online Chinese light bar. I've bought a cheap online switch, got that delivered, mounted the switch, mounted the light bar to the bike, and then I've used an auto electrician to come around and just wire it all up together for me. And then what I've done is I've run the wiring on the bike myself, put it to the battery, and then cable tied the loose wirings all up. Any of you out there that might want to try and do something similar, but that was one way of doing it. But it's not that hard to get to the battery. A little bit of mucking around, but I'm no mechanic and I could do it, so I think that, you know, your average bloke should be able to sort that out themselves. Anyway, I hope that video is of some use to those people that might want to do something to their bike, and I'm just going to share that with you guys on the internet. Alright, catch ya. Bye. Hope you enjoy that.